Welcome to McDonald's. Are you using our words today?
No.
Go ahead with your order.
Thank you. I need a number 2 large with a coffee, 1 cream, 1 sugar. Also a large ice water, please. And a sausage burrito. No sauce.
You said one cream, one shingle, and what was the sausage burrito, no sauce?
Correct. That'll be it.
So you got a number 2, and a one sausage burrito, the large coffee, one cream, one sugar,
Yes, and a large ice water.
a large ice water. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The total would be $11.96 first window.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good day.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Large coffee.
Yes.
Food's coming right up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Thank you. When it's clear, make your turn. Go, please, go. Turn the wheel back. Good. The client told me it was okay to talk to you guys. We're not going to show a face today because we're going through some very emotional drives. Please turn here at the corner. Go in slow. And I need you to go into the driveway. No, turn the wheel back. Turn the wheel to the left. Okay, turn back. Don't hit the pump. Thank you. Go down to the last one. The client said it was okay for me to talk to you guys. We're not going to show a face today because we're going through a really intense training session. What you saw on the expressway, we were going about 52. A lot of cars were stacking up behind us, and I was trying to encourage the client to pick up speed, and it was very difficult. I wanted to support the client, help them, encourage them. This is their first time on the expressway. As you can tell, it was a struggle. We were just too slow. It's rush hour in a huge metropolitan area, and we struggled very badly to get our speed up. Semi-trucks paralyze a lot of people with anxiety. And I was trying to encourage the client to pick up speed, push the gas, but as a result, the client was not able to execute that. We've been working on just feeling comfortable on the road. And I think it's really important that you feel comfortable on the road. As you can tell, we were 10 under the speed limit. Cars were aggressively tailgating us, which I did not tell the client because I have a dual mirror set up and a brake on the passenger side. We both were sweating, holding the steering wheel because it is stressful and it is nerve-wracking to try to get out here and learn how to drive. We both had tears in our eyes because it was a breakthrough to get them. Excuse me a second, I'm wiping my face. It was a very emotional situation to even get them on the road. And when you get people on the road, you really have to think defensively. We were able to go through a drive-through. That's something the client wanted to do. And they paused. It was very dark at the drive-through. I believe it was McDonald's. They overturned and almost hit the building. I had to turn the wheel back. You didn't see that. And they were shaking once they handed the debit card to the McDonald's person. What helped, and you didn't get a chance to see that, the other fast food worker had a really big smile. And I had tears in my eyes, and so did the client, because I saw her relax. But then the next challenge was pulling out of the driveway, turning the wheel, and going up to a one-way street. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but going up to a one-way street, and the client almost turned the wrong way, and they went in the wrong lane. If you look back at us pulling into the fast food establishment, I believe it was McDonald's, we turned out into the wrong lane. You should always turn into the nearest lane. It was a one-way. I believe it was 3 lanes or 4. We should have turned all the way to the left. We could have gotten hit by a car by turning in the middle lane. Based on our traffic code in the Midwest, you should always turn into the nearest lane. That was a struggle, but I supported the client. The lane positioning on the main thoroughfare, I thought, was okay. We were drifting to the right a little bit because the client has extreme anxiety. Is that okay for me to say? They said it's okay. And you need to look at this as an educational piece, because I am a state certified instructor. I work in the Midwest. I was hired to teach Can I say your age? They don't want me to say their age. I was hired to teach the client how to get on the road. They've had their license over 14 years, and as a result, they really have not been out a lot. So the experience is new. They also felt somewhat comfortable in traffic, but it was a struggle to keep our speed up. Merging on the expressway, and hopefully you saw that, they almost went to the left lane and got cut off by the semi. I told them, lift your foot, have better speed control, have better lane positioning. And once they lifted their foot and had better lane positioning, they were able to merge into traffic, but it still was a huge struggle for them to merge into traffic. And I was trying to encourage them to push on the gas, but the merge was just not going to happen because of all the semi trucks. If you go back in the video, and you need to go back, when we merged on, there were 4 semi trucks around us, a lot of cars. The client was shaking and crying, and I just wanted to show support and encourage them to execute the maneuver. Excuse the noise. But it was very difficult for them to execute the maneuver effectively. Would they have passed? I don't think they would have passed the actual road test because they were just too slow and holding up traffic. Cars are a challenge for any of us. Excuse the noise. More so for beginners who struggle with lane positioning, and maneuverability. The client is struggling. The client was struggling to keep the car centered in the lane, and that was one of the major areas we needed to work on, was just getting out onto the road, having good lane positioning, and then trying to keep up with the flow of the traffic. The client kept staring at the speedometer. I suggested to them, look ahead, aim high. They were listening to me, but once we got around a lot of cars and trucks, we were not able to maintain a safe speed because the client started panicking, hyperventilating, which you didn't see. And as a result, we were driving too slow. So we were kind of trapped in that middle lane. I wanted them to get to the right, but the client froze up and was not able to push the gas pedal. I also want to encourage the client to continue on with the therapy, continue to request my services, because it was a breakthrough to have them get out on the road, but it was a struggle for them to pull out of a private drive. Example, we were at a gas station. To pull out onto a private drive is going to be a struggle because they panic. Example, they might look at the gas station sign and veer toward the sign instead of looking at the road to the left. Vision is extremely important. The client has been through a lot of emotional trauma, been in several crashes, non-supportive parents, no one willing to get them out. So the fact that I have a driver's ed card that's available, the fact that they saw me on social media, they reached out to me. And I was able to provide services for the client. And this is going to be a series of videos where toward the end, if the client allows, and they do sign a waiver saying that I can summarize and give them feedback. In return, we'll give them a half an hour reduction in the price of a lesson. It was a breakthrough today. It is still very dark. We're in a gas station. We're trying to calm down some and get our focus. And that's really important. Every step is a good step. We got out today. It's not what you think. The client's family situation, all the siblings are older, they're all out of the house, and there's just not a support system there to allow them to get out. They eventually want to live independently. So when you learn how to drive, you learn how to be independent. You learn how to get yourself dressed, start up the car, but the struggle is to even get the car out of the driveway. And when you have those type of struggles, you need support. I want you to use this as an educational experience. Look back through the video, pulling out of a side street onto a major thoroughfare, maintaining lane positioning and speed control, maintaining adaptability to adapt to the situations. That was a tough struggle. And this is part of the therapy, us going over, and I'm holding the client's hand because we both had tears in our eyes, because just to get out on the road, I don't think all of you understand the struggle that people go through daily with extreme anxiety. If you take a look to read the comments, it really gives you insight into what people are thinking and feeling. And to learn how to drive is about education, caring about the common good. And on the expressway, and you did not see it all, people were not caring about us. They were literally tailgating us and literally cutting us off. And my client was shaking and crying, and I had water in my eyes too, because you should not be treating someone like this, but people are selfish and don't care. So learning how to drive is a privilege, not a right. And when you have a client in the car, and this is from their perspective, we got out of the home today. We learned how to back out of a driveway. We learned to go from a side street onto a main road, which is very hard for someone who has extreme anxiety and emotional trauma. We also learned how to merge on the expressway, which is not easy. We were traveling at about 47 to 52 miles an hour. The speed limit was 55, but people were actually driving 65 and 70. So we were holding up traffic, 5 to 10 cars. I was checking my rearview mirror because I'm in a driver's ed car with dual brake, dual mirror, all the safety features. So I just supported my client and said, "You're doing fine." But it was a big struggle. And I'm going through my checklist of information to help them be successful. And that's how I want you to use this video, as therapy, as a guide. You need to leave comments, and you need to watch all of my videos that focus on POV, point of view driving, therapy. Then you will understand the perspective of someone who has extreme anxiety.